Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next video, which is Links, Lies, Lunacy, and Logic. This is part 2. Just want to read something to you. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This was a quote from Martin Luther King, and I think it's one of the most powerful quotes in our history. But if you look at today, that seems to have fallen by the wayside. And 2 examples, well, in general, identity politics has become the theme of the Democrat Party. You know, we're voting for a person based on their skin color, their gender. We're not looking at qualifications. We're not looking at the content of their character. And you could argue whether the character is good for either candidate, but the point I'm making is we're not looking at merit. We're not looking at accomplishments. We're looking at things that I said in previous videos that should not be requirements for becoming president or becoming a manager, whatever the position may be. About a week ago, Barack Obama shamed black voters, saying that because Kamala Harris is a woman, that's why she's not getting the turnout for voters. Completely disregarding her record, which is, as I mentioned in previous videos, is not a good record. I've seen videos of people saying, well, I don't think Kamala Harris would be a good president, but I don't like Donald Trump, so I'm voting for her. Really? I don't know her policies, but I'm still voting for her. That's another thing I've heard. Some videos have people interviewing other people saying these are quotes from Donald Trump, and the people were thoroughly disgusted. But then when they told them, oh, this was actually a quote from Kamala Harris, they said, well, I'm surprised, but I'm still going to vote for her. I'm going to get to my conclusion later, thus being a conclusion, but I just want to bring up some things that I've been noticing, and it's there on videos on YouTube. It's out there. I have some predictions, and I hope I'm wrong, that there will be more accusations on Donald Trump. Election day, November 5th, will be spread over a couple of days. It will thus turn into election season. Other countries manage to get it done in one day, but we seem to have trouble doing that. Machines will go down. There will be issues with ballots. There'll be ballots dumped after midnight, and they're all going to go Kamala Harris's way, and the mainstream media will justify it. They'll say, oh, yeah, 3,000 votes all going to her. That makes perfect sense. And before I continue, I just want to ask a question, because I don't want to come across as I'm just ranting, I'm complaining. I'm just telling you, as a fair-minded person, this is what's going on. And if the roles were reversed, would you be okay with it? Think of it the other way around. Would you be okay with it? I tend to think not. Kamala Harris has gone on interviews on Fox, CNN, CBS, which was heavily edited. They're not releasing the full interview. I don't know why. What are they hiding? She was asked a very specific immigration question on Fox. How many immigrants have been allowed into the country under your watch, under the administration of Biden-Harris? Brett Baer, the interviewer, was looking for a number. She didn't answer. She avoided the question. She does not answer questions. You look at any of her interviews, she does not answer the question. It's either anti-Trump or she goes into these things. I was born a middle-class child. Nothing to do with the question, just completely avoiding it. She says, I will promise to do these things, whatever it might be, but she hasn't done them. I understand she was VP, and I know that Joe Biden, as president, has the final say. He's the president. But she does have input. She does have input. And Donald J. Trump, when you really listen to the criticism of him, most of it's about his personality, his rhetoric, but not about his policies. They focus on personality, which I said is not a reason to vote for a president. His policies work, people. That's the bottom line. And I will get into that in my summary. Other things that Kamala Harris has lied about. She has said the border is secure for years, but yet she wants to fix the border now. Well, if it was secure, why are you trying to fix it now? Bidenomics is working. Inflation, grocery store prices, gas, mortgage rates, your expenses. Yeah, that's all working. Go look at those things and tell me how well it's working. She wants to fix some of those things. Again, what's there to fix if it's already good? Calling Donald Trump Hitler is extremely irresponsible. But before I get into, and I'll do that in my summary again, they have called about 10 or more Republicans in history Hitler. So this is a common theme of the Democrats calling Republicans Hitler. Kamala Harris said on The View, this was the interview about a week ago, that she would do nothing differently as president. So you're going to get continuation of the Biden-Harris administration if she gets elected. Just know that. Do you really want more of the same? She has flip-flopped on things like fracking, illegal immigration. She now has a tough stance on immigration, even though, her administration, and I say her because she was the border czar. She was in charge of that border. Yet she let in 15 million or more illegal immigrants. I mentioned on the previous video about Donald Trump's comment, that taken out of context about the USA being trash. Again, he was saying we become a trash can for illegal immigrants. I'd like to share my screen with you and do my conclusion. So let me get to this. Okay. Just a little lighthearted stuff for future videos. I'm going to leave you a little bit of suspense. There's a surprise, but there will be future videos. Lighthearted stuff. There'll be some Spanish tutorials. I will talk about the state of education. When these things will happen, I can't say for sure, but this is what is down the pike. Now, comparing Donald Trump to Hitler is just truly disgusting and irresponsible. Here's why. Adolf Hitler exterminated about 6 million Jews. He put them in ovens. He had them shave their heads to use their hair to stuff mattresses. What has Donald Trump done to be anything like Hitler? That is just so disgusting and irresponsible of the media and the Democrats to use that term. He's still being misquoted and taken out of context. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm a realist. I'm not delusional. Donald Trump is going to continue to say dumb things. He does. He will continue to do that. He has done it. I'm not arguing that. But again, he got the job done. Our economy was better. The border was secure. Our dollar stretched further. Kamala Harris has said Donald Trump is too old. Age is a number. Tom Brady, his last, I guess with 3 or 4 Super Bowls, he was 37, 39, 41, and 43 years old. I mean, that's old for football. The guy won 4 Super Bowls. I'm just going to summarize points 7 through 11 here. What it's showing here is that Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, look at the years they served as president. They're all Democrats. Yes, there was George Bush in there for that period, that 8 years from 2001 to 2009, but somehow it's all Donald Trump's fault. Again, look at the disparity of Democrats in office and Donald Trump. Somehow they're blaming him. Just doesn't make sense. Well, they say Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. So let's look at what's happened in the last couple months. He was taken off the ballot in at least 3 states. Luckily, the Supreme Court overturned it. There were 3 assassination attempts on his life. Donald Trump wants to have voter ID to make sure citizens are voting. The Democrats do not want voter ID. Biden said about a week ago, lock him up, referring to his political opponent, Donald Trump. Well, it's Kamala's now, but you get the point. Joe Biden won the Democrat nomination, yet he was tossed to the side and Kamala Harris was installed. Okay, that's it. Just put it in his place. No process, no nomination needed. Just put in his place. She did not have one primary vote. The Democrats want to revamp the Supreme Court and get rid of the Electoral College. And one thing you might notice about Democrats is they accuse the other side of doing what they themselves are doing. And I want to point out something as I finish up here. Bernie Sanders, this is a quote from him. He said about Kamala Harris, "I think she's trying to be pragmatic and do what she thinks is right in order to win the election." So basically, she's just saying all the right things. She's not going to do these things. She's not. People put it in perspective. This is not a person that you have to marry, be friends with. I said it in an earlier video. You have to like their policies and how it's going to make the country better. Please do your research. Go back to my videos. Talk to people. Don't just base it on what I'm saying. I'm saying talk to other people. Go to other sources and form an educated decision. I'd like to talk about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, which here's again, we want to have someone of this color, of this race, this religion. How about merit, which has become extinct? And you notice in diversity, equity, and inclusion, there's no diversity of thought. It's diversity of just, again, skin color, race, etc. If Kamala Harris is elected, your taxes are going to go up. She wants to have gender reassignment surgery for prisoners, illegal immigration. There's something else that got cut off there. I apologize, but other things that you're going to pay for them. Oh, loan forgiveness. Excuse me, loan forgiveness. And you're paying for it as a taxpayer. You're paying for it. So your taxes go up. This is what it's going to pay for. Things like this. As I said earlier, look at the previous videos. Do your research. Whoever you vote for, and this applies to me too, you lose your right to complain if you vote for Kamala Harris and you get a bad situation, which I honestly believe will happen if she is in office. She hasn't done any of the things she said. It's all about what she's going to do. Why would you believe someone's going to do it if they haven't already done it? Now, this video was longer than I wanted it to be, but I had a lot to get out there. People, please make an educated decision. Vote with your head and not your heart. Our country, this is one of the biggest elections in our lifetime. Our country's at stake. Really, really think about it before you vote. Thank you for your time.